Welcome back to the Equinexus podcast. I'm Chuck.
I'm Jack.
Today we're going to talk about this report that came out that the FBI secretly removed Russian malware from compromised devices. So Jack, what is this all about?
This is a great story. There's this Russian hacking group called Sandworm that actually was able to install malware on, I don't have a number because it hasn't been released, but let's say tens of thousands, if not maybe hundreds of thousands of devices. The devices were primarily manufactured by two companies. One was Asus, the other was WatchGuard. As the FBI and security companies monitored the internet for malicious type activity, they found this malware that was out there that was actually targeting these two manufactured type devices. What the FBI was able to do was reverse engineer this malware and determine how to use what was in the malware, the technology that was created by the criminals, to actually get into the devices that were infected and then use the technology to remove the malware that the criminals installed. It was very brilliant and intriguing to watch all this start to unfold.
What type of devices are we talking about? What was infected?
These are typically devices that would sit on the edge of the network. WatchGuard is a big manufacturer of firewalls. Asus makes appliances that are oftentimes used in firewalls or used as a firewall.
And what do we think the intention of the attack was?
There's a lot of speculation, and the FBI was able to remove the malware before the bad actors, the hackers, were able to actually go forward with whatever their plan might have been. The most likely conclusion I come up with after reading all the articles out there about this is the criminals, the bad actors, were actually looking at using all these compromised devices to attack other devices. And when I say attack, I'm talking specifically about a distributed denial of service type attack. So if you look at critical infrastructure, if you look at banking, if you look at transportation, a lot of those devices are connected to the internet. And if these criminals can actually focus, like focusing a laser beam, take all these compromised devices and start sending traffic to critical infrastructure, they have the ability to take that critical infrastructure offline, which is what a distributed denial of service attack is all about, is disrupting some other device that might be on the network. The other thing could be using it as a pivot point. Once they're inside of a company's firewall, they pretty much have one leg inside that company's network. They have a device, they have a computer on the company's network, they can scan the network, they can find other devices and look for vulnerabilities in other systems to try to take over inside an infected victim's network.
What was WatchGuards' response when they learned about this malware?
WatchGuard was very responsive. They immediately, within hours, came up with a patch, with an update. They worked with the FBI to notify all owners of the product that was affected. What was a little disappointing was within 24 hours, less than 50% of the infected devices had the patch applied. And that's when the FBI went to seek a court order to get permission to actually go in and remove this malware. Again, the best part about this is they were able to take apart and understand how the malware worked, and they were able to use the elements inside the malware to remove the malware.
This isn't something that we normally hear about. Is this a new way of doing things from the FBI's standpoint?
That's a great question. This is the first time this has been public. I can't imagine three-letter agencies haven't done something like this before. This was so widespread and big that they went through the right process, and because they did, it became public. It's always a challenge for a three-letter agency to do something like this and publicize it, because that advertises that we've got, or they have, the capability to do something like this. So a lot more often, a lot of the things are more covert. There's a lot of capability, and we don't learn about the capability. And sometimes that capability isn't even used to prevent things, because once it is used, it shows their hand. It'll be interesting to see how things progress after this one.
Thanks for joining us again. Hopefully this video shared some insight on an interesting event that we saw the past couple weeks. Like, comment, and subscribe wherever you're seeing this, and we will see you next time.